Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining in for today's webinar on how to certify SFDC mobile publisher apps before deploying to app stores. I'm Shivani Sinha, Manager Marketing at pCloudy, and I'll be taking you through the agenda of the webinar and set the context right for this webinar. So let's get ready to roll further. The agenda for today's webinar is we'll start talking about an introduction about pCloudy, and then we'll move on to discuss about the challenges, typical challenges enterprises face while testing the SFDC mobile apps. Then we'll move on to the risk of deploying if the not so completely tested SFDC app on App Store and their results. And then we'll move on to have a look at the solution that pCloudy provides to meet those challenges, and we'll show a live demo for a reference, and then we can move on to the question and answer round before closing the webinar. So before we move on further in the webinar, let's have a glimpse at what pCloudy is. pCloudy is a digital assurance platform that offers rapid automation creation capabilities through Automation Studio with a comprehensive mobile device lab with more than 500 devices. We also offer the pre-built test accelerators for enterprises for workflows that adapt to your business. So we have combined all these three capabilities to show in today's webinar for an SFDC app. Hopefully that at the end of the webinar, you'll be able to relate to it more. If we move on to the journey of our webinar, we are actually one of the fastest growing companies with almost 1 lakh users across the globe. And now we have more than 20 Fortune 500 companies across the globe in our kitty. We have more than 500 enterprise clients as well. We are, if you can see on the right hand side of your screen, we have some of our customers mentioned. I mean, the logos of some of our customers mentioned here, and we are the trusted partners of global software industries like Capgemini, UST Global, Hexaware, Infosys, to name a few. We have also been trusted by analysts and users like Gartner and Forrester, and G2 Crowd is a review platform that has given us a status of high performer based on our on the reviews against our competitors. So let's move forward to the benefits. If we look at the benefits, some of the benefits are listed over here of using our platform pCloudy. So pCloudy can help you automate your app tests in less than 30 minutes through scriptless automation creation. You can also, I mean, enterprises are facing in scalability of dev infra, typically when the devices are concerned, device maintenance and device procurement are concerned. So here is the solution for that. You can also seamlessly integrate, this platform can be seamlessly integrated with the CI or CD, existing CI/CD tools that you have in your enterprise. So our USP has always been value to money proposition and 24/7 support for our customers. So which is won us the trust of our customers and partners, and it has been going strong for years and years now. I mean, for around 4 years now that we have started up. So moving ahead in to the topic, let me hand over to Paramveer Singh, the project manager at pCloudy, to take this webinar further.
Yeah, thanks, Shivani. Hi all, my name is Paramveer Singh, and I've been working here for the past 10 years. I've been working here for this product line, both pCloudy Automation Studio and pCloudy. So I'll discuss this topic of Salesforce automation with the slides first and the challenges, and then we'll propose a solution, and then followed by a live demo. So moving ahead with the slides, let me first talk about the challenges which we face generally in Salesforce app as we are doing a manual testing for that app. So there are 4 major challenges which we have discussed over here. The first one being is that once we test the this Salesforce application, there are different parameters which we need to check. So let's say if we are installing the application on a device, we need to check whether while installing or while using that application, is the battery consumption going high or not. We need to check that. We need to check the CPU usage, that if it is going high or not. So there are multiple other stats as well which we need to cover out, and this is something which becomes quite challenging when we are doing the testing on the Salesforce application. The second one being is testing the Salesforce app on different networks. So let's say if a Salesforce app, as you might be knowing, that it's quite dynamic. It has pages inside that. We need to make sure that it can load up properly, because once it is loaded up, then only we can perform actions on the application. So we need to test it out on different network speeds. It can be a 2G or 3G speed, 4G speed, and even on Wi-Fi. So we need to ensure that it works on all those networks seamlessly. And then the third one being is the dynamic UI of Salesforce, which is again quite challenging in terms of testing the application. So let's say like we are testing out the Salesforce application, and in a new release or a new version which appears, uh, there could be some changes on the application UI. So we need to make sure that those changes are properly tested, and then only we can upload our apps on the App Store once that is done. And the final point is that there is a constant risk of business processes due to seasonal updates. Since Salesforce provides the updates on a frequent basis, we need to make sure that we are testing out our application on different mobile OS versions and with different API levels as well. So since these changes are being done, we need to ensure that this is being catered properly, and the tested build should only be uploaded onto the App Store. So with these four major challenges, this is something which we have to face while we are doing a manual testing for the Salesforce application. But in case we are doing the automation testing of the Salesforce application, then also we face some of the challenges. So let me go to the next slide, which talks about those challenges. So the automation challenges which we have written down broadly into two categories. The first is the new script designing. So since the properties inside the Salesforce application is dynamic, the ID keeps on changing, and because of that ID change, the XPath might also change. So in that case, we need to make sure that the test case which we are designing, they should be good enough in terms of scalability. So once we have created the script, even if the new release comes up, it should not break the scripts which we have created. That is the first challenge which is there in most of the automation tools which are there available in the market. The second is the existing test script maintenance is again kind of challenge which the users face while doing automation on the Salesforce app, because the in the new release which happens, it changes the complete UI, and that becomes kind of overhead in terms of maintaining those scripts. We have to do those changes inside the scripts, and then once that change is being done, we need to ensure that we are testing it again on different Android OSs and OS versions, and apart from that, different screen sizes and all those stuff. We have to make sure that this is completely thoroughly tested on all those devices, because that is something which we need to ensure while uploading the app onto the App Store before releasing the app. And as a user, we need to think how to change the Salesforce testing strategy. So both the manual and the automation testing is something can be done, but yes, there are some challenges for doing this manual and automation testing with Salesforce application. The reason behind, as I said, is because of the dynamic nature. The property gets changed, and because of that, there should be a solution which should cater all these challenges which are being faced by the users. Now, let me talk about the risk of deploying, not so properly tested the Salesforce application onto the App Store. There are three major, risks highlighted over here in this slide. One is the frequent app crashes on different mobile devices. So let's say if we have not tested it properly, thoroughly, then if we upload it on the App Store, there could be, crashes on the application, and we can have it. Let's say we have tested out in one device which works fine, but on a different Android version on a different manufacturer, it might crash. So that can happen. So this complete traceability, or this complete metrics of the different Android versions and different sizes of the screens, all those things needs to be checked out properly before deploying the app on the Play Store. The second is the different stats. One of the major one is the battery consumption. So in case if that is not properly tested and we upload it on the Play Store, it might happen that the battery might take the app might take battery consumption. It gives different parameters to the battery, and the battery might be drained out quite soon. So for this, again, this is very important feature, because the battery is something for the mobile device which is the heart of the mobile device. So it should work as long as possible, and each and every user wants that to be used as more as it can be used. And once these two risks are there, the third one is like we'll have the long support queues, and which results in the dissatisfied customers as well, because they will call us, they will mail us, and the support team will have to uh, you know uh, they have to work on the different queries of those customers, because they are facing these challenges on the application which is not properly tested. So this being these three are the major risk of deploying the untested application on the Play Store. And the result, or let's say the solution which we are proposing over here, is pCloudy. So let me just highlight what all benefits which pCloudy provides as for this complete challenges list which we have talked about. So the first thing is that it provides 500 plus real devices to test the Salesforce application. So the pCloudy platform itself has different Android versions, different OEMs, different screen sizes. All those things are there, and if you want to test it out, we just need to make sure that we are testing it out on different devices. And again, there is specifically a feature inside the pCloud platform which gives you a complete list of devices which are being used, which are mostly used by the customers across a particular country. So this is something which our team continuously does a research, and once this research is out, the results are out, we capture those results and publish it on our website, so we can check it out. Let's say if in India, if let's say Redmi, one particular version of, or one particular model of Redmi device is being used mostly, then in that case it will show up in the first spot, in the first in the list, and then we can surely test out our application on that particular device. So with these all stats, it makes it easier for the user to test out the application on those devices. It's because there are hundreds of devices, thousands of devices available, so it may not be possible to test out on all those devices. But yes, we have to make sure that we are testing out our application on most of the important devices, the majorly used devices across the country, or across any particular other country as well. The second is the device analytics. So the analytics which pCloudy provides would be CPU usage, battery consumption, frame rendering count, memory stats. So all those things would be there, and it gives a complete list of stats. So let's say if you are testing out the application on one of the device, we just need to tick a button, and it will show all these stats on the right panel of the screen. It will show you that while performing actions on the application, what is the CPU usage, how the battery consumption is showing up, the frame rendering count, memory stats, and all those other stuffs will be showing up over there. So this is again one of the important features which is used by which can be used by the customers in order to test out their Salesforce application. And it also shows the logs. So in case there is some crash happening on the application, then those logs can highlight those kind of crashes, and that logs can be downloaded, and we can send it across to our developers so that they can see what happened at that moment, and they can fix that particular issue. Now, network simulation is one of the other features wherein we can simulate the particular network speed onto the device. So let's say if you want to give 2G speed to that device, that is possible. If you want to give 3G speed, that is possible. A Wi-Fi speed, a 4G speed, all those different options are there in the network simulation tab. So what we can do, we can simulate that onto that particular device which we are testing the application, and then accordingly we can check that if the application is behaving properly or not. So that is again one of the features which helps user to test the application on different speeds and different network types as well. The fourth very important point which I want to mention over here is the AI based mobile bots which are available inside the pCloudy platform. So we have two different kind of AI bots. One is the monkey bot, which is where what we have done, we have inserted few commands into that bot, and those commands, if I give you an example, it would be like uh, performing some random actions on the device application. So which means that it can install the app, then it can uninstall the app. It will do a pinch in, zoom out, swipe left, right, up, down. All those different commands have been inserted inside that bot. So that would be random kind of application commands which is there. It will perform all those actions randomly, and then it will give you a report in case there is a crash. Because let's say if we are having a kind of if we are using a device, if you are using a application on the device and we are doing multiple stuffs, we are opening up two or three different apps and we are doing some stuff here and there on the application. So if there is some kind of crash happening, then that bot can detect that, because it will simulate the kind of actions some user will perform, and then it can give you the crash report of that particular all those commands which are there. And finally, the fifth feature which is there as in kind of in the pCloudy platform is the features like Follow Me, Certifier, and the integration with the CI/CD tools which Shivani also mentioned earlier. So it is currently integrated with Jira, GitHub, Slack. So we can simply log a bug directly while testing out the application on the mobile device. So that is there. About Follow Me is a feature where we can test out our application parallelly on two devices. So what we can do is we can simply open up the application on one of the one of the device, and whatever actions will perform on one device, it will be replicated as it is on the second device automatically. So it basically follows the steps being performed on one device to the second device. So this is again a feature which cuts down the testing time exactly to half, because at the same time we can test one application on one device, we are doing it on two devices. So this is feature available right now for the Android devices. And Certify is again one of the bots which we have. So this Certifier bot is something wherein we just need to upload our application, and then once the application is uploaded, we need to provide the type of application, that is, let's say if it's a e-commerce application, it's a food application. So we just need to provide that category, because what we have done is we have created some of the kind of generic test cases, generic flows inside our bot. And as we provide the let's say if I give an example of e-commerce website, so there would be some of the test cases like signing up, searching for a product, then adding it to the cart, doing the payment, and then logging out from the application. So these kind of test cases are already there. So we just need to provide the application type, and then we need to provide the credentials of our application if that is there inside that app. If you provide that and if we schedule that, it will automatically do the complete stuff. It will randomly take 10 devices, it will perform those actions, different kind of test cases which are there on those 10 devices, and then it will give you a complete summary and a detailed report onto your email address within 24 hours. This is again the second bot which we have, and this helps user great way to test out the Salesforce application. Now, in terms of automation, so we have a completely separate tool kind of platform. So one is the pCloudy platform which I was talking about. Now, in case user wants to do automation for Salesforce application, we have the platform called as pCloudy Automation Studio. So which is something which provides different kind of features for testing out the Salesforce application. So one of the important feature is the Salesforce test builder. So if let's say we have mentioned two of the challenges for automation, one is the new test script designing. So for that we have the Salesforce test builder, which can create the automatic test cases once we have opened the test builder, and we can perform the actions on the application. And once that is done, it can create the scripts automatically. So whatever actions we'll perform, it will simply record that and it will create a script out of it. So as a user, we do not need to learn any kind of coding. We can simply open up the test builder, and we can open up the application, can perform action on the application, and it can create the scripts automatically. That and it takes care of the dynamic IDs automatically. The second is the automatic component creation. So for Salesforce, in case of, let's say, Salesforce web application, it can create automatically the components, and these components are the reusable components. Let's say login to the application, then creating an account or creating an opportunity. So all those different components can be automatically created. So we do not have to, we just need to provide our Salesforce instance details like the URL, the username and the password, and it can create those components automatically. So currently this is available for the web version, Salesforce web version, and we can create it for the Lightning UI of Salesforce. And then we have a feature called automatic test data generation. So in case data is not mandatory or data is not relevant to the test case, then we have a feature which can automatically generate data. So we just need to provide some details of the data to be generated. Let's say it should have kind of 10 characters. It should start with this character, it should end with this character, it should only contain numbers, only contains lowercase or uppercase. So we can just provide this kind of pattern, and as whatever pattern we'll define, accordingly it will generate a data, and that will be inserted automatically while we are playing the script. Now the second one is the existing test script maintenance. So for that we have the AI powered self-healing automated scripts, which means that we have the feature of visual identification. We have the feature of visual identification, wherein what we can do, we can it Opti can find the objects on not on the basis of the properties like ID, XPath and all. It can find the object on the basis of the nearby label or the text. So let's say there is a kind of label called as account name, and then we have an edit box where we have to type in that particular account. That means that what we have to do, we just need to provide a keyword called as type by text, and that keyword will not take the object properties into account to find the object. It will simply take the nearby label, which is account name. You just need to provide account name, and it will search at the runtime where account name is written and will perform the action on that. Just give me a second. Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, so that particular those visual identification steps or the keywords which we have, they help in finding the objects, and these objects are can be just find out on the basis of the nearby labels or the text I was talking about. So with this, even if the position of the object gets changed on the new version, let's say there was a login or the username button on the left hand side of the app, and now it goes to the right hand side, or let's say if it is at the top and now it goes to the bottom, it doesn't matter to OpKey. It will simply go and search the text which is, let's say, a username, and it will perform the action on that nearby object to that. So this helps a lot in terms of making sure that the scripts are can be easily maintained. So we can create the scripts this way by using these by text or the visual identification steps, and then even if the new version appears, we do not have to worry about the dynamic IDs or the properties which gets changed. We can simply add new steps if there is some new fields added to the that particular page. Otherwise the same script can be easily utilized. And then we have again a feature called as automated impact analysis. This is again a feature currently available for the Salesforce web application, which is where the pCloudy Automation Studio can fetch out the properties of the API properties, the metadata properties of one of the instance. Let's say we have taken the object as account, the accounts object inside Salesforce. So we can take the API level properties. So we need to provide some of the details like the Salesforce instance URL, username and the password, and then we have to provide the options like the consumer secret key and consumer key as well. So these are details which can be fetched out from the Salesforce instance, and if you provide these details, OpKey can fetch out the backend API details or the metadata properties of the application. So it captures that and saves it inside OpKey. Now tomorrow if the new version comes in, we can again take that all those properties again for the same object, and if let's say on the same page, on the accounts page, if there is some addition of the new fields, it can show you that these new fields have been added, and it will show you that these few fields have been deleted. And there is a button which is like update the test scripts automatically. So we click on that, it will automatically add those new field steps in the test case, and it will delete that particular step which is there as a part of the previous script if that is deleted from the UI. So this kind of automated impact analysis can be done, and those impacted test cases would be there, which can be auto healed automatically by the automation components which we have. Okay, so with all this context set in, let's try to show the video. Sorry, the demo of the complete platform. So you can see this is the UI for pCloudy. The URL is device.pcloudy.com. We can log in with our credentials. So I'm using my colleague's credentials over here. Okay, so once we log into the application, so this is the landing page which you will see. And so this is something which can showcase like the last certify sessions if we have executed, and apart from that it will show the other manual sessions or the automated sessions which we have done earlier. Then we have this devices section where it will showcase all the devices available right now on this particular version. So this is the a public version of pCloudy wherein anyone can come across and can connect any device. So you can see these blue icons which says this device is available. So if we can click on this, we can simply select this device and we can start working on the device. So and there is some offline modes, and on the right hand side we have the filters, like in case you want to test it out on a particular Android version, so you can select that Android 10, Android 4. So starting from Android 4.1 it shows to the latest, which is Android 10, and then iOS as well. So we can select these filters, and then comes the OEMs. So which particular OEM you want to select, Acer, Apple, Carbon, Lava. So there are different OEMs as well available. In the screen size, on which screen side you want to test out your application, that is something which you can check. Then the network, so let's say you want to test it out on Wi-Fi network, Airtel 4G, Idea 4G, or Idea, some of the US networks, AT&T, US mobiles, Verizon and all. You can test it out on those different kind of networks. Now, if you want to test out, you just need to connect to this device like this, clicking on the button, and the device will appear as it is, like you can see in your hand, and then you can install the application. So you can install the application by clicking on this button. So there would be a My App Data section inside the pCloudy platform. So we provide 10 GB space inside this My App Data section. So any user can upload their APK or the IPA files inside this, and once that is done, we can install the application, and we can start testing out the application. So this was the monkey what I was talking about. We can choose the application, we can give the event count. Let's say 100 events should be fired in at a time gap of, let's say, 400 ms. So it will fire in those different kind of events, like installing, uninstalling, taking screenshots, zooming in, swiping left, right, doing all those random steps. And in while doing so, if there is some kind of crash, it will showcase that as well. So the network simulation I was talking about. So here is the network simulation. We can simulate 2G, 3G, 4G, and broadband speed. And we just need to click on shape, and it will allow the upload and download speed as mentioned in this table. So these all features are there. Let me release this device and showcase you the other features. One is the certifier feature. So I'll click on this. So the certify is, again, we need to upload our application, give a session name, the application category, So we can just define the category as beauty, books and reference, communication, education, and provide the username and password if it's there. Click on run, it will be scheduled, and then we can see a result something like this. So I'll just show you one of the sample reports for the Certifier session. So in case there is some crash, we can see the crash report in this section, right? It will randomly take 10 devices automatically, and then on those 10 devices it will perform those test cases which is there. So we can see the battery chart, so how the battery performed, then the memory chart, how the memory performed. So these different stats can be seen on the on the application. Because of the application, what is the CPU chart, so it will showcase all those things, the frame rendering count, the snapshots taken. You can see all the snapshot which has been taken. It will showcase all that. And then the logs, and if there is some crash, there is a crash test log and an installation log, and then the scenarios which we have covered. So it will showcase the scenarios as well. So this is the certifier thing, wherein we just need to you can see these are different devices, Motorola Moto Z Play, Lenovo K3 Note, HTC One M8. So it will take those 10 devices and will perform the action, and the results will be exported and sent back to the user on the email. So this was about pCloudy. One more important feature I talked about is follow me. So this is the one. We can upload the application, and once that is done, we can select the devices. Maximum 2 devices can be selected for now. And then we have to select the master device. So one would be the master device, another would be the slave. So whatever actions will perform on the master device, that will be replicated on the slave device automatically. That can be done over here. Now, in terms of automation, we have this second kind of product line, which is pCloudy Automation Studio. Earlier, it was known as OpKey. So let me show you the OpKey platform now. So this is the OpKey platform, again a web or the SaaS-based platform, wherein we can uh, we can open up in any browser, and then we can log in. We can open up a project, and then we can create a folder. Let me create a folder over here. Within this folder, I can create a test case. So this is something which I'm showcasing you in terms of automation now. The manual part is something which we can do it on the pCloudy application itself. Now the first step which we have to inside this platform is to upload our application. So we have this section called mobile management. We have to upload our APK file or the IPA file in this section. Once that is done, we can come across to this section, and we have pre-built set of keywords inside OpKey, pre-built set of actions basically. So instead of writing a code for those actions, we can simply search for those keywords. So let's say if you want to launch an application, so there is a keyword called launch Android application or iOS application. You can search for it and you can add it like this to your test case. So we need to provide which device you want to launch and which application you want to launch on the device. So this way you can search for the keyword. There are multiple keywords, like you want to click somewhere, there's a click keyword available, click button, click image. So all those keywords are there. But an easier way on this application is to use the test builder, which is there. So if I click on this record icon, you can see there are different recorders available: web, mobile, desktop, Salesforce, PeopleSoft, and all. So for mobile apps, we can select the mobile recorder. For Salesforce web app, we have this Salesforce recorder. So let me select the mobile recorder. I'll create an object repository. So all my objects and their properties will be saved inside this. I can select a pCloudy device. I can click on next. And then once the devices are loaded, so either we can select Android device or the iOS devices. Over here, there are 2 radio buttons. So it is just loading up all the devices on the screen. We can select the application. So I'll select the Salesforce application and then select the device. So I'll select, let's say, Android 10 Pixel 2 and click on start recording. So what this will do now, on the fly, it will book this device from here, from this platform, and this Pixel 2 device will install this application, the Salesforce application, on that device, and it will launch up in a moment. And once that is done, we can record the steps. We can create a test case out of it. So you can see this is just launched. Now, just like a kind of manual actions, I'll perform I agree. And you can see a keyword click has been added. The object is I agree, and the properties at the bottom. So it has captured the XPath, it has captured the name property, ID property, and all the other properties, and the screenshot. I'll perform some more actions. So you can see I've typed in something, and there is a type text to netbox keyword added. The object is username, and the data is this. Then I'll provide the password. Click on login. So whatever actions we'll perform, it will simply record those actions, and it will create an automation script out of it. So there is no need to write any piece of code. You can see everything is being recorded and being captured. So see, I'm clicking on the allow button. It's added a click allow. And one other important feature which is there is we have the object spy feature as well. So in case user do not want to record it, user just want to spy on the object, then we can go to the spy mode over here, and it will say switching to spy mode, and switch to spy mode, and then we can perform action on any particular object. You can see it is highlighting that object, and this is the hierarchy of that object. So this is the object, this is the parent of that object. You can see it is highlighting a different object now, and this is its parent again, so it would be another object, and this complete hierarchy would be shown up, and the properties of that object. So we can see different properties, it is capturing it, and we can click on this add object. We can give a name if we want to change it, and click on add object. So this object will be added to the object repository. So this way we can record each and every step, and once the script is there, we can go to the record button again. Let me release this device and stop the recording, and your script will be ready. So you can see this is how the script will look like. We have the first keyword as mobile underscore launch Android application click type text and all that. So everything is getting recorded, and the object repository is also created, which is this one, and all the objects have been saved inside this in this object repository with the properties. So this is how the script can be created. It's quite easy for any particular manual tester as well to create the script like this. And once this is done, we can play it back on different devices in parallel as well. So we can do that. So let me quickly show you one of the execution of this app. Just give me a second. So this is one of the video of the execution we have done. So you can see it is highlighting the objects as well, on whichever object it is performing the action. So you can see this red box coming up, and we'll fill up the details as it is that we performed on the device. So this way it becomes quite easy, and the scripts created once can be executed on multiple devices, which saves times as well. We do not have to test it out on different devices. It has clicked on the navigation icon, and now this the video has stopped from there. So this is how we can do a complete kind of end-to-end automation and end-to-end testing for a Salesforce mobile app. And once this complete application is tested out thoroughly on different devices, so as you can see, as an ecosystem, it provides all different kind of things. So coming from the manual test point perspective, we have the pCloudy devices, We can test out different stats from there, the CPU usage, battery, and all. And coming from the automations perspective, we have this pCloudy Automation Studio, which is also called as OpKey, which can be utilized for creating the scripts, and then we can replay it back on different devices in parallel, and we can see the live execution as well happening. So with this, with this particular thing, I would like to conclude the session for today. I can, take the questions now if we have some questions. Okay, so I've got one of the question, which is, what is Salesforce Accelerator? So I have not covered the Accelerator in this today's webinar session, but yes, Accelerator is something wherein we are giving the pre-built scripts to the users. These pre-built scripts are nothing but, they are, let's say in case of Salesforce, we have some of the generic components like creating an opportunity, creating an account, and all. So all those scripts are already there with us as a user. We just need to provide our data, and we can execute the script. So there is no need even to create the scripts for these accounts, for these different object types. Okay, we have another question coming up which says, can we execute scripts created on Android devices to the iOS devices? Okay, so very good question. So in this case, like let's say what happens is in most of the cases, the scripts created on the Android devices, the properties of Android objects might be different, right? So in that case, what happens is once the object properties are different, then we have to record it again. We have to record this the new script on the iOS as well. But if the object properties and the workflow is exactly same, in that case we can execute the same script on iOS as well. What we have to do, we just need to replace this keyword with another keyword, which is launch iOS, which is this one, launch iOS application on device. So this would be the only keyword which needs to be changed. But apart from that, the same script will work if the object properties and the workflow is similar. Okay, one of the questions is test case generation in what framework? So basically, what we are doing is like in terms of keywords which we are having over here, these keywords are created in Java language, but as a user we cannot see the code of these keywords. We just need to add the keywords, and these keywords can be utilized for creating the scripts and executing the scripts. But yes, in case we want to write a piece of code as well inside this platform, we have a feature called as coded function library, wherein we can create we can write our code as well, and that code will be in Java language again. So you can see over here, we can select a particular plugin. So let's say APM plugin, and we can write the code in this section. But as per my knowledge, I've been working in this product, so there is no need to have any kind of a keyword. We do not have to write any piece of code because almost 700 predefined keywords are there in the library, which can be utilized for creating the scripts. Okay, one more question, which is how the data is secured in pCloudy Automation Studio or pCloudy. So both are products, pCloudy and pCloudy Automation Studio. They are the SaaS-based platform, and they are completely secured. We have passed the compliance, some of the regular compliance which are being used by some of the industries like pharma industry and all. So those compliance we have already certified that. And in terms of data security, it is something which is already in terms of completely secured data. We are not using it, and even that we have the encrypted data format, we cannot decrypt that as well. So in case of pCloudy Automation Studio, we have this AWS as our cloud partners. So whatever security they are providing, that is completely provided by us as well. And even if a user wants more security in terms of data, they do not want the data to go outside, then in that case we have the versions of on-premise, both for this pCloudy Automation Studio and for pCloudy as well. So user can opt for the on-premise setup. Okay, so another question, which is, since how many years this solution is working on Salesforce? So we have been working on the Salesforce. So this platform, pCloudy Automation Studio or pCloudy, we are in business for the last the OpKey part is there for almost 10 years. pCloudy is there for around 6-7 years. But yes, for Salesforce automation, we have been working here for Salesforce as more than 2 years from now. So again, a question from Jayant, I guess. So it's basically record and playback. Yes, in terms of in terms of automation, that is record playback. And apart from that, we can also use the pre-built components which is there. So we can always use that one as well. But the pricing would be different for those pre-built components. But yes, we can always record the scripts. We can modify the scripts. We can use some conditions, some loops, and all, and then we can play it back on different devices. Okay, so I do not see more questions coming up. Okay, so if there are no more questions, we can wrap up this session for today. I hope you like the capabilities of our product lines, both pCloudy and pCloudy Automation Studio. In case of any questions, any queries, you can mail us on our email address, on my email address as well. So which is paramveer.singh@sstsinc.com. And apart from that, we have our support teams available with on the ID support@pcloudy.com and support@opkey.com. So if you have any queries regarding that, you can also visit our website pcloudy.com or opkey.com, and you can even try out for the trial version, and you can visit us in case of any queries, and we would be happy to assist you. So thank you for your time today, and you have a great evening ahead.